Wow, there's so much going on in the market. And you're hearing from all over the place, especially on the internet and the news and places like that. It's all crazy. Is it? What does it mean for you? What does it mean up here in the Treasure Valley? Let's talk about that next. Hey y'all, Dave Edwards, Treasure Valley Dave here. And today I want to talk about the market nationwide and then more specifically right here in the Treasure Valley. I'm not going to go into a lot of numbers, but more of the concepts and the things that are driving stuff. We can go into numbers in a couple of weeks when the numbers for last month come in. But right now I want to look at kind of the 30,000 foot view. But before we do get started, I wanted to remind you that if you're thinking that Idaho might be the place for you, please give us a call, text, email. Everybody on the team has made that relocation journey, and we are so glad that we did. And we have some answers to all your questions. Okay, not all of them, but maybe we do. One way to find out. Also, this video, it means so much to us. If you can go ahead and subscribe, and if you've already subscribed, please go ahead and like, ring that notification bell, and share with somebody else that needs to see this. All right, let's dive right in. So, starting here with TreasureValleyDave.com, kind of back to what we were just talking about. This is a great resource if you have questions and you need answers. So please check that out, TreasureValleyDave.com. So yesterday, a client, friend really, in California sent this story to me, and it kind of gives us an idea of what's going on in general. So Los Angeles Chevron gas station charging over $8 a gallon. So fuel prices are going up. They're going up everywhere, really driving inflation, right? Everything that you have, almost everything you have, and I mean almost, came on a truck. Trucks take fuel. Food, farms, fuel for the tractors. It's just everything's dependent upon fuel. Fuel prices go up crazy, then everything's going to go up crazy. So one gas station owner downtown charging up to $8 a gallon. And I've heard other, experts saying how over the summer it's going to certainly get to be the $8 range across the country. And then by the end of the year, we could easily be looking at $10 a gallon. So there, huh? Elections mean things. Multiple factors go into the price of a gallon of gas, including some unique ones to California. So we can expect to see, and California's always had the boutique blend and things like that. They've always had crazy ways of doing things. So to see gas prices go up even more in California is not unexpected. I think that's all we had on the gas prices. But let's come back to real estate. So on a nationwide view, foreclosure filings are up 132% from a year ago. I know that sounds like the world's coming to an end. And if you're listening to some of those people on the internet, they get a lot of views, but then if it bleeds, it leads, right? It's not the old saying for the media. So 3 stats caught their eye. This is from Market Watch. First was the number of foreclosures. First year over year increase in 10 years. But then again, last year there was the moratorium. So there's like nothing, right? Second that they had pointed out was that 78,000 U.S. properties had foreclosure filings, up 39% from the previous quarter and 132% from the previous year. And third, it said serious mortgage delinquencies are 70% higher than they were pre-pandemic. So what I like about this article is like they build up all this gloom and doom, again, nationwide, and then they say that, those numbers seem grim, but the pros say it really isn't that bad. Why is that? Even though active foreclosures are up on a year-over-year basis, the number of loans in active foreclosure is still way under historic norms. Foreclosure moratoriums that were put in place as part of the CARES Act in response to COVID-19, they brought foreclosure activity to a halt. So it's like a year-over-year comparison really isn't fair when there was no activity last year. So, but it just feeds into the hysteria that, oh my gosh, the sky is falling, right? Moving right along, over here at Fortune Magazine, the housing market just slid into a full-blown correction, says top economist. Well, what does this mean? Again, this is for the entire country. He tells Fortune magazine that we've officially moved from a housing boom into a housing correction. Now, I don't necessarily agree with all the stuff that's in this article, but this terminology, housing correction, I think is absolutely spot on. I don't see a crash coming, whatever a crash is, but I do see a correction coming. How big is that correction? Is it a couple percent? Is it just holding even? Or even if it came down 10%, which I'm not seeing that. Anyway, moving right along, the real estate data rolling in shows that the U.S. housing market is softening. Okay, again, that's on a nationwide look. Inventory is rising fast nationwide. Demand is pulling back. Inventory is up. Demand's going down. And they say demand is pulling back because of the mortgage rates that have spiked dramatically. And let's talk about that for just a brief moment. Mortgage rates have spiked dramatically, but they are still, historically very low. I think the historical average is something like 7-8%, and now we're at 5%. We were up to 5.5%. Now we're coming back down a little bit. So if we're staying in that area, interest rates are still pretty decent. My first house was 13.5%. I'm sure many of you have stories like that too. That was from the 80s. And you know what? We still bought and sold houses. Some of you were up to like 18, 21%. So yes, there is going to be some impact for certain. But right now, we're still at pretty historically low interest rate. It's just that we're down in the 2s, and now we're up in the low 5s. And it feels like, oh my gosh, the world's coming to an end. But in reality, not so much. The housing market has peaked. Everything points to a rolling over of the housing market. Housing demand is coming down fast. Well, you know what? Maybe housing demand is coming down fast in those places where gas is $8 a gallon and the government is nuttier than a fruitcake. But has the housing market peaked everywhere? So National Association of Realtors, they collect a lot of data, so they can analyze things pretty well. Double-digit price appreciation in the first quarter of this year. Even amid rising mortgage rates and a decline in home sales, more metro areas, 70% of the metro areas, 70% of the 185, so it's like, 40% of the metro areas that they track recorded a double-digit annual increase in their median single-family existing home sales price. Median sales price of a single-family home rose faster, and sustained price appreciation and higher mortgage rate affordability worsened. And that is really the kind of the tragic thing. If you were at that point in your life where you're just gaining traction and you're just this close to be able to jump on a house and get into it, the higher interest rates and housing prices might be pushing you away from that. And that is really tragic, but don't give up. Let's figure out a way of making it work. So remember, we had 13.5%, 18, 21% interest in the past. And wages, I got to tell you, back in the 80s, I was making like $1,200 for a month and thought I was doing okay. So I know times are different now. It's that dang inflation, right? Elections matter. But what about here at home? Ada, Meridian home price, Canyon hit a record too. While supply went up and demand fell, and it's not clear why. So probably the gist of this story, and this is from our friends over at Boise Dev. You can subscribe for free, and you'll get an email in your email from them every morning with some of the hits or the high points for the day. It's pretty decent, and the price is certainly right. The number of homes for sale, the supply, did go up, even though they're getting snapped up quickly and for record prices. But they said in a simpler way, the supply is up, the demand is down, but the price is also up, and it's unclear why. They broke the law of supply and demand. Someone broke it. Wonder why that is. So the the 3 Idaho cities among the 15 fastest growing in the United States. Let's see, what cities do you suppose those are? Was it Boise? I'm afraid not. Meridian, Nampa, and Caldwell are on the nation's top 15 fastest growing cities. So here's some more context. Oh my gosh, everyone's moving to Idaho. Californians are all moving to Idaho. It's like full. Idaho's full. Well, Meridian has 125,000, 126,000 people. So where I came from in California, between San Francisco and Sacramento, that was just a normal size town, small city. It's like nothing. But here, that's the second biggest city in the entire state. Caldwell came in at just under 64,000. I mean, Dixon, little tiny Dixon there in California, if you know that, it's the same size, or it's probably bigger now. And that was just a little, whistle stop as you're going through. So, and that's, I don't know, probably the third, fourth largest city in the state. Nampa comes in at 106. Again, that's just a normal city, small city, not a big city at all in California. And this Nampa is the third largest city in the state. So it's like all in context. Oh yeah, there's more people in Idaho now. I mean, total we got less than 1.8 million people in the entire state. And you guys have that much in a traffic jam on the 405? It's not. Put things in context. Don't believe these big headlines. It's out there to, clickbait, get you scared. So just for reference, Boise's population, it only went up by 2,000 people over the last year, 20 to 21. And it's right now at 237. So it's like, why did not more people move to Boise? Boise's beautiful. There, make no doubt about that. But it is run by, some people say, a communist mayor, and it has much more of a liberal feel. Maybe it kind of feels like UC or Davis, it's UC Davis campus there. Boise is a college town. It is the capital of the state. So you can expect a little bit more of a urbane feel. You could definitely get some good restaurants down there. And they have a fabulous nightlife as well. But they only grew by 2,000. It said that most of the growth was to the west of Boise. To the west of Boise means more conservative towns, more conservative areas, more conservative mayors and city councils. And I'm going to say, by and large, all the people in general in Idaho are more conservative than you'll find in normal places in, say, California. Even in Boise, with that more liberal bent, it's overall quite a bit more conservative. People live their lives in a conservative manner. And what does that mean to you? Well, to me it means it's like people are neighborly friendly. It's do what you want. I'll leave you alone. You leave me alone. And also, let's have a caring heart. Let's go help our brothers and sisters out. Like we were just recently over at the fundraiser for the Boise Rescue Mission. And the community turns out to support that great non-government related organization that is out there helping people. So that's what I mean by living conservatively. Just for another point of reference, topping the list of the 15 fastest growing cities in the United States was Georgetown, Texas, a suburb of Austin. Also, the 3 of the nation's fastest growing cities are in Texas, 5 are in Arizona, 3 are in Florida, and 1 is in Tennessee. So what's the thing about Texas, Arizona, Florida, and Tennessee? Well, I know that Texas and Florida is quite a bit more conservative. I hear that pretty frequently. I know Arizona is more conservative than, say, LA area. And I know because like the Phoenix area is still a short enough drive that you can drive back and see friends and family in LA. So I'm imagining that's location has a lot to do with why that's one of the fastest growing areas. And then Tennessee is just, it's a nice friendly place to move to. Although their prices are going up, not unlike what we have going on here in Idaho. So here's one more example of why people are moving from other places. Like we have such a tech thing going on here in the Boise area. Where have all the tech workers gone? Near the top of the list is Idaho. So that's pretty cool. And Tennessee, just saw Tennessee, Idaho, Arizona, Texas. So we're starting to see a theme going on here. People are trying to escape those other places. I guess one of the bottom lines of this, again, back to the National Association of Realtors, their chief economist says that there's uncertainty. And there's a lot of reasons for uncertainty. We have the fallout from COVID-19. The demand is intensified in places. Supply appears to be on the upswing. Inflation will persist. We have war, escalating fuel prices. Mortgage rates are going up, down. Uncertainty, again, uncertainty. Other anti-inflationary actions by the Federal Reserve. They only have a few tools in their toolbox, and inflation or raising interest rates is one of those. Wages have gone up by 6%. That's better than nothing, right? But inflation's up to 8.5%. Remember, elections have consequences. So, but I have heard, for instance, like in California, that the demand in the Sacramento area is even greater than what it is here in the Treasure Valley, because all the people are moving from San Francisco area to Sacramento because they can work remotely. It's still not that. I mean, if the boss says you have to come in for a day, you can still drive a couple hours down I-80 and get to work. So Sacramento is really booming, like say more than the Treasure Valley is. So not all places in California or maybe other blue states are suffering the decline that places like in San Francisco are seeing. But what that means is that, if you're in Sacramento and you're tired of all these people from San Francisco coming up, jacking up your prices, you take this opportunity, sell your house there for a higher price because San Francisco's inflated the price. You can come up here. We've been growing, yes, but not as fast as you. So your money's going to actually even buy more once you get here. And what does that do for people here? Well, it pushes up the prices, but then we have more inventory coming on. So maybe our prices are going to be moderated a little bit. You get a better quality of life. People up here are welcoming. Heck, there are a lot of Californians that have come up here. And I have to tell you, they're just as nice as you. They're someone that you would want to be your neighbor, and then vice versa. So that's kind of a look at the market from a nationwide thing down to what we have going on here in the Treasure Valley. Not really talking numbers. I would say if I had to wrap this up into a quick, concise sentence, it would be something like location, 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 and it all depends. So if your life could be better up here, let us know. Send us a text, email, make a phone call, ask us your questions. Let's find out if Idaho is the place for you, or maybe it's Arizona, Texas, or Tennessee. But you won't know until you do your research, and we're here to help you with that. So go ahead and, if you haven't already, subscribe to this channel. That means so much. Also like this video and leave some comments too. We'd love to hear what your feedback is on this. Well, gosh, I know this has been quite a, pretty exhilarating little video, right? Thumbs up. And I think that's it for today. Well, as always, this is Treasure Valley Dave, looking forward to helping you get home.